Alright, you maggots, listen up. Years ago, I built this direct conversion receiver, and it uses the NE602. And this is a bandpass filter up here, right here. These two toroid coils, I think they're FT82-61, something like that. And this is the original circuit from when I was doing it. And the original circuit said to use T50-2s. And at some point I realized more signal was going through these two toroid coils. So I used them. I didn't know why. All I knew was this bandpass filter, when I put it on the scope, it worked as a bandpass filter for 80 meters. And so did this one. And this one had more signal going through. The sine wave going through was bigger. So I'm like, I want to build the circuit. I want to get working. I'm doing a lot of experiments. I don't want to think about why these two toroids are working better than these two. I moved forward. I went on to build other circuits. That was the plan. So remember a few weeks ago, I mentioned this eBay meter thing can do Q. All right, so if you take a FT, whatever this, remember I just said FT82-61, you measure this, it'll tell you the inductance, and it'll tell you the Q. And I didn't never notice it on this before. Well, here's why. If you take any other kind of smaller ferrite core, or toroid core, or toroidal, I can't say the word. I'll have to practice it. Well, anyway, this shows inductance on this meter. It'll be the same inductance if I wind it right as this. This shows a Q number. This does not. Now, in the paperwork or online information, it says highest Q. But based on what? I know now a bigger coil has higher Q. And a lot of Hellcrafters radios use tiny little coils, so I know right off the bat. I always said Hellcrafters suck, and they leave parts out. They suck. And I got this giant, expensive Hellcrafters with a broken gear. The guy wants $100 for the frickin' gear, and it's eating at me, all right? But I just wanted to tell you about Q. Not all coils are equal. You know, Q stands for quality, and when a coil has high Q, it resonates violently at its resonant frequency. It also transfers signal at the specific frequency you have it set for. You get more transfer. So you can have a little coil like this, and it will resonate at a certain frequency, but not as violently. It won't transfer as much energy, and in most cases, when they use something like this, you'll see an amplifier in there. And that's how you get around it. You just go, well, I'll put a cheap coil in there, and then I'll add an amplifier, because adding a transistor and two resistors is cheaper than the coil. The coil is expensive to wind, and transistors are probably 4 cents each in bulk, and the resistors same amount, and then so you use a crappy coil. And then amplification. That's what Hellcrafters did. Go look at their tiny little anemic coils. And I kept saying, when I was working on the Hellcrafters, everything was cheap. And I hated Hellcrafters, and I bought that stupid thing. And I'm sorry I bought it. It's what do they call that? When you purchase something? Buyer's remorse. That's it. I can't believe I come out with that one. But buyer's remorse on that receiver. What was it? Hellcrafters SX42? All these stories about it's a piece of shit. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you about Q, and I also wanted to tell you you've been poisoned. And you're going to say, what? You've been poisoned. You have PFAS in your water that you're drinking. I know you're going to tell me you drink bottled water, and bottled water is water in a bottle. It's got PFAS in it, and you're also drinking plastic pieces of the bottle. Go read up on this stuff. They poisoned us, and they made you pay for it. You know, I paid for the water I drank that poisoned me. PFAS is in everybody's bloodstream throughout the world. There are a few sections of each country that they haven't been exposed to it, but they will. Go read up on it. That's P, as the letter P is go P, FAS, PFAS. It's a big problem. It's a forever chemical. You have it in your bloodstream. You've been poisoned. You think those Camp Lejeune commercials are annoying? You're walking Camp Lejeune. I think that's it. All right, that's it. We've been screwed.